So there we go. All right. So 3, 2, and 1. Well, Ryan, welcome back to Mayor's Monday here at WSAU, WSAU.com. As always, the disclaimer, you're not a mayor, you're not elected, people can't vote you out. People can vote the village board out, and then they could, hire somebody else. But that's how we get around that legally, by the way, to still be able to call this Mayor's Monday.
Okay.
There's no legal document with that. It's just something I made up.
Okay,
so Ryan,
good.
yeah, absolutely. But Ryan, give us an idea of what you got going on here. I mean, is this a slow time right now in municipal government?
A great question. I wouldn't say it's slow. It's tax season, right? So first installment of tax due next Friday already, January 31st. So it's been very busy with tax season. But in terms of slowness, no. But in terms of actual media and things of projects happening, yes. So what I mean by that is there's a lot of inner workings behind the scenes in the winter months, working with developers. So the winter months are more so when you can have those conversations and you work through pro formas on the financial side, and then you kind of pump out things in the spring for development. So in terms of development, obviously Ollie's has been kicked off since last fall.
Oh yeah.
We've heard a lot of great compliments on Ollie's so far, so we're excited for that. And with that, so is going to be the second of the 3 phases in that Shopko Plaza remodel area. So this year, what we're really focusing on with the developer is going to be the facade, the aesthetic of the outside of the building, kind of where Harbor Freight is working its way south. So again, it's going to be a much more modern, rustic approach. You're going to see a lot of construction there. And then some changes in the parking lot as well. So again, some preliminary plans have made it to the village board, but more plans will be coming yet this springtime for a summer of 2025 start date.
Yeah, so why is that important then for that area?
Yeah, it's important because, and you may recall, and others may recall that years ago, I've been here for about 2.5 years now, and it was kind of one of the items that I had talked with my village board, and they've been extremely supportive, and I'm very appreciative of that they have been in my corner saying, this is an area that we want to put some dollars into, and we want to really change it for the better. The Business 51 here in the village of Rothschild, the ADT, or the average daily traffic count, really is quite impressive. It's one of the higher ones in the entire Marathon County. So we know that there's a focal point here, and coming off of whether you're on Highway 29 or you're going down Business 51, we want to make sure that area is one that pops. It's revitalizing, and it's an area that people want to be at. So, with our pavilion there, and right on the Wisconsin River and Lake Wassa, that's something it's really beneficial to keep exploring ways to improve it.
Your front door, or your doorstep, if you will, curb appeal, I guess, if you're trying to sell a house, right?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, so and that area is one that's really been transformed, even in the 7 years that I've been here, because when I got here initially, the first time I saw that area, I got a real industrial feel to it. Like, okay, this is where the hard hats go on when you're working throughout the day, especially with the plant just down the way there. It seems like that's kind of been changing a little bit in the last few years, whether it's on the Weston side or the Rothschild side.
I think that's a fair statement, Michael, and really on the third stage to that development is going to happen in 2026. So just north of Clean Slate, there is what used to be a building, and there's I'm going to say a foundation that's still there, maybe a foot or so off the ground. And that's going to be the third phase of that entire project. So that's going to be, again, coming in 2026, and we're looking at a sizable building that will be going up with the potential for multiple tenants in there.
Multiple tenants. So you can't say anything right now.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
Correct.
Well,
but eventually we will.
Eventually we will. Okay, we're going to leave it at that, and I'm going to hold you to that.
Sounds great.
So that's what we're here for on Mayor's Monday. But that aside, that's obviously commercial development. How about residential in the area? Because obviously everybody wants to talk about residential development, whether it's affordable housing, whether it's luxury housing. That's something that really is a focus, not just in this area, but the county as a whole. I mean, we've got task forces set up, multiple about it. So what's your plans for residential coming forward?
Yeah, there will be some plans. We are developing some internal plans currently. These are ones that I cannot release at this time quite yet. But yes, I would say the hope is within the next 2 years that there will be at least 1 to potentially 2 subdivisions within the village of Rothschild that will be opening up that are not currently subdivisions.
All right. So we just have to take a look at the map and find green space then, right? Just to get an idea.
Potentially.
Yes. All right. All right. Again, we'll hold you to that.
Sounds great.
As far as other things go, though, we obviously spent a lot of time talking about the project between Rothschild and Weston on Alderson Street. That's nearly in the rearview mirror right now, but you do still have some sprucing up to do in that area.
That is correct, yeah. So the roundabout itself has been completed. We are working on what potential lighting, some additional lighting may look like in there. And that will be coming to the Village Board of Rothschild actually this coming Monday already. But the other portion to that project, which won't actually happen until spring of 2025 here, is the trail addition. So that's what we're really excited for as well, because it's that interconnectivity between the Village of Weston and the Village of Rothschild. You know, again, we enjoy working with our neighbors, and the Village of Weston has been tremendous over the last, say, several years, and it's really been progressing in a really positive way, and we're very appreciative of that. And this trail is only going to help that. So that, again, that'll be on the south side of Weston Avenue between Alderson Street and Birch Street. So again, that's going to be a wider asphalt paved path that is going to serve residents both in Rothschild and Weston and beyond. So we're excited.
Yeah, and so the possibilities with this then, is this something that you'll maybe maintain in the winter, so that way there's a recreational trail for biking, running, between point A and point B?
Yeah, that's something that hasn't yet, full disclosure of how that maintenance is going to work, but yes, that has been in discussion.
Mm-hmm. And then what exactly are you connecting? Because obviously we've got a pretty big project in Weston, in Kennedy Park. They're going through a big transformation there. Is this the type of trail that maybe somebody will be able to go from a park in Rothschild to a park in Weston without having to do much, or I should say battle vehicle traffic much?
There's a potential. I think, if you really hit the minus button in kind of a larger picture, is looking at the interconnectivity between sidewalks, walking paths, both in the village of Rothschild currently, and in the village of Rib Mountain, and Weston, but Rib Mountain even with our trail that goes over the river. Yep. The three communities have really started to connect, and even the city of Schofield too. I know that they've been working tremendously at trying to figure out ways to interconnect with the village of Weston and so on and so forth, and Rothschild. Mm-hmm. But this one, truthfully, Michael, is kind of going to be more that connector between some of the village of Weston's trails that are east of Birch Street already, and coming into the village of Rothschild, whether we can get to Gasket Park or maybe the dog park that's down there, but that's really the big goal here.
Yeah, and anytime you can do that, not have to battle vehicle traffic a whole lot, people absolutely love that. You look down in Wisconsin Rapids, you can almost train for a marathon in the winter without crossing any sort of street traffic. They've got their trails so interconnected. Mm-hmm. So that's something that people love to see when they're picking a place to live, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Indeed. One more thing then before we let you go, got to talk about PFAS as always. Your water obviously is something that a lot of people also kind of take into consideration when they're making their spot to live, and you're, again, doing your best to provide the best quality product for residents.
Correct, yeah, I'm glad you brought it up. So again, the Village of Rothschild has been working tirelessly trying to figure out what that PFAS facility looks like. It has been underway now. So if you notice some of the construction that's been happening there were some larger trees that were removed, but the plant is coming along well. We are hoping for, again, that later fall of 2025 to be coming online, so in less than 1 year already. But you're absolutely right. We're aiming for that non-detectable in our water. And a non-detectable, what I mean by that is the actual PFAS particles. So we're trying to minimize a very small particle that exists in water, but a very important particle, none to say the least. So that's really what the goal is, and that's what we're trying to work through with that PFAS facility, is making sure that we, as the Village of Rothschild and our water utility and the users, have the best water that we can provide to them.
Yeah, and the reason you're going to that level is not necessarily you just want to get by for now. You also want to be prepared for whatever regulation may come in the future, or whatever contaminant may come in the future that hasn't been discovered yet. You don't know where this is going to go, so you want to be able to be as ready for that as possible, right?
Correct. Yeah, the plant both our Tim Vergara, our Public Works Director, along with Rick Stoviak, our Water Supervisor, the Village Board, our Water Utility Commission, which is our Village Board. They've all been kind of in, I'm going to say, the same sheet of music, or same paper page in the book there. And what I mean by that is they're all on the same page and working towards a common goal. And that is tremendous, because it's not only the PFAS, like you had mentioned, it's further down the road of what else could come up that we can build this facility in a way that we don't have to keep making additions, or at least try not to keep making additions as different regulations come up.
Yeah, so, and of course, the last question that everybody wants to know about that then is, do you know what this is going to do to water rates yet for residents?
Not yet, we are unsure, but as we know more, we will definitely communicate that out. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Last thing then, before we let you go, got a new fire chief. It started this week, actually. So give us an idea of how he's fitting in with the department right now, and I guess what the goals are going to be for the department going forward now that you've got some new leadership in place.
Sure, yeah. Chief David Briggs, again, came from the City of Wausau Fire Department. Started on Tuesday, January 21st. So he's been doing a tremendous job so far. I know he's been having a lot of discussions with our interim fire chief currently, myself and the staff. In terms of goals, I think really it's getting Riverside, buying it more into the future. It's been doing a tremendous job, whether we're replacing equipment and really, making sure that we have the appropriate staff levels in the event that something were to take place that would be unfortunate. We want to make sure that we have the correct leadership in place there, and staff members. The staff members there have been tremendous through the last, I'm going to say, 8-9 months of a lot of different adversity that they've been having to go through. So again, I can't say enough positive things about the Riverside Fire District and our surrounding community fire departments and fire districts that have been always there to help us out in the event of anything that has occurred. So very appreciative of the neighbors, very appreciative of other municipalities that have been helping out, and we're just excited for Chief David Briggs to really take it into the next level.
One thing a lot of departments have been having to deal with lately, obviously, is the staffing issues, whether that's finding positions to fill or wanting to add more positions. I guess obviously it's really early in the process. He's probably spent more time doing paperwork than anything else the last couple of days as we're recording this. But is it possible, or I should say, is it something that you've maybe had the discussion of, to have a referendum to add staff? Is that a position that the Riverside Fire Department is in right now? I know there's been some municipalities that have had that.
Yeah, we have not had that discussion at this time. And so no, that has not been anything that's been discussed.
Not anything that's been discussed, not anything that's on the docket, so to speak.
Not at this time.
All right, awesome. Well, we always appreciate the time, and we'll look forward to chatting again in the next couple of months.
Excellent, thank you.
Yep.